Alright, good morning everybody. It's Andrew, our Central Illinois weather here. Today we're going to be talking about the potential for, severe storms over the south over the next few days, and also what's happening right now and what happened last night. Currently, we are looking at the Little Rock, Arkansas radar. We have a few severe orange storms this morning across Arkansas, capable of producing large hail, damaging winds, and possibly even a tornado. We have a decent couple with the storm near Story, Arkansas, and the mid-lower levels getting at around 6,000 feet. Echo tops with these storms upwards of 30 to 40,000 feet. Hail markers signify hail near an inch right now as well. Now, as I switch over to Google Chrome, which is going to take a second, I don't know why it's taking, my screen recorder is taking so long for me to get over to Google Chrome, but it is taking me a hot minute here. For some reason it just wants to load up my GR2 windows. There we go. Okay. So, sorry about the technical difficulties, but we do have a slight risk of severe weather today. I'm just gonna... We have a slight risk of severe weather today across portions of Arkansas. Here's the current severe watch that's out. We could have very large hail upwards of 3 inches in diameter until 10, along with winds of 70 miles per hour, potentially even a tornado. Conditional tornado threat is also possible. There is potential for a new severe watch to be issued further downstream. Here's your current day 1 outlook. We have a large slide from portions of eastern Oklahoma down into southern Alabama. There's a 2% tornado risk, meaning a tornado or two are possible. There's a 15% wind risk and a 15% hail risk as well, along with a large marginal corridor. Across Texas, there could be some isolated very large hail today, but because of how short the window is, there's not going to be a slight risk added. Here's a look at Mesoscale Analysis overlaid with photographs, the current warnings, and the watches. As you can see here, we have favorable photographs for large hail and damaging wind gusts today across that corridor right now, where we have convection. Along with that, if we look at our skew-Ts here, we can see that they're pretty elevated right now across the region, meaning that we're probably mainly seeing hail with these storms. Maybe an isolated damaging wind gust if storms can become surface-based. Damaging winds and tornadoes cannot be ruled out. Lapse rates, they're not that great, so this is going to suggest we're probably going to have more elevated storms, with the mid-level lapse rates being very high once it loads. And the mid-level lapse rates aren't even that high until you get down in more Louisiana, Mississippi area. Bulk shear values currently, or your deep layer shear, is solid 40 plus knots across the risk area, some areas in 50 knots as well. And then your current mixed layer cape, that's what we're looking like. I can also show you 12Z soundings as well. Here we are. So 12Z soundings, that is storm interfered. Let's look at edge reports. This is a good example of what an elevated hail profile is. Lots of elevated instability from like 10 kilometer down to right around 4 kilometers, so right in there. That is your elevated instability, and that's also your hail growth layer is also located kind of within these two red lines right here, and the hail growth layer is rather large with today's event. This photograph also supports large hail and storm splitting, given the fact that we have veer-back veer within the low levels right there. I should probably mark that with a different color. But right here's your veer-back veer in the low levels. You also have solid amounts of upper level shear, which can make some potential for very large hail possible. Your low level lapse rates are not great, which could stunt hail potential and kind of make it melt toward the surface, but your mid-level lapse rates are good. Across Jackson, Mississippi, their sounding is actually a lot more favorable for maybe even a tornado. Your lapse rates are slightly better in the low levels, they're not so great in the mid levels. instability is a little bit more skinny, but you do have enough low instability where you can't rule out an isolated tornado. And then you have a similar photograph. Weather prediction center wise, we have an area of severe storms again today. Tomorrow, there's also a slight risk, which we can look at that right now. Tomorrow, very large hail is going to be a possibility, along with maybe a tornado or two. Now, hail is going to be the main threat tomorrow across kind of Mississippi, Alabama, as we're expecting supercells to form there. So currently here's what the radar kind of looks like right now. We have a couple hailers down there. This is what they expected to look like over the next few hours. We're expecting these storms to continue. We probably will see some severe weather across Mississippi and Alabama today with those storms. And yeah, you can see here's kind of what it looks like environmental-wise. Huge photograph. This is a flooding sounding too. We're going to have storms moving in very similar directions today, which could cause a very significant flooding event. With that thick enough instability for there to be some type of hail potential, along with maybe a tornado, we cannot rule out very large hail today at all, as well. Once we see here, we get some warm air advection storms as well across Louisiana. Those could be capable of producing severe weather. And looks like there's going to be another kind of area of supercell development back here along the Arklatex region, along the triple point. Taking a box sounding in front of this, we can see that these storms are going to be mainly favorable for large hail again and damaging wind gusts given the decay. No real tornado threat today. You can't rule out a tornado with those storms along that stationary boundary in Alabama, Mississippi. Yes, that sags southward, but that doesn't seem likely at this point. A couple storms could form along the dry line. Initially, these will be favorable for large to very large hail, depending upon how they go about. Seems like HRRR's Futurecast seems to kind of form the supercell with a little bit of rotational features with it. Yeah, that environment would be favorable for some sort of rotation. You can also see Texas here along the dry line. We're expecting some sort of storm initiation. Right now, it doesn't look to be too significant, and mainly hail would be the main threat with that. As we move across portions into Sunday, we're expecting storm development early morning in Arkansas again, and this will move southward. We'll have cumulus fields throughout the day. Sorry for sneezing. But we can see numerous thunderstorms start to develop across the Mississippi area. And let me change it over to the southeast sector. That would probably be a better view. That's for today if you're out in Alabama. Your Easter weekend looks pretty unsettled if you're in the southeast as well. But as we can see here, mid-afternoon, we start to see numerous thunderstorms develop. Some of these are going to be capable of large to very large hail given profiles like this with the huge elevated instability again. Looks like this storm could be more capable of producing large hail to very large hail, maybe a tornado as well. Big time shear with that profile as well, which will help out with that tornado potential and hail potential and wind potential. As we get toward 21Z, just a plethora of showers and storms interrupting your Easter across Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, maybe, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama. Florida could see an isolated severe storm as well, with any of the sea breeze action, given the Cape of 2,500 joules per kilogram, steep low-level lapse rates, and the D Cape of around 900, and the kind of inverted V profile that we have. D flare shear is lacking, but we could see a couple isolated severe storms there. I did not mean to take a box sounding like that. Box sounding across Alabama. This is just northwest flow supercells that produce huge hail, basically. I mean, your hail growth layer is huge. Your lapse rates across up and down the profile are bigly. You have enough turning where you could get a sneaky little tornado or two. Your D player shear is good. We might see an upgrade to enhanced with Sunday for hail or wind or both. given the profiles. Once we hit 7 p.m., we can see that the instability maxes out, and that's when we could see huge hail. Still, looks like Georgia gets in on the action where we could see an isolated severe storm over there, and yep, that is correct. As we get throughout the night, oh, I did not mean to put it forward. As we get throughout the night, we can see that these things start to organize into a big-time bow echo as we get into Alabama and Georgia. We could see some more damaging wind gusts, maybe a few supercells across Louisiana. Mississippi still a floater. As we get into eastern Georgia, we can see the profiles there. We have not too bad Cape. Profile's not great though. Shear's lacking, but this is going to be mainly favorable for probably damaging wind gusts and not really too damaging, probably like 55, 60, which is damaging. But we can see those storms kind of clash, and we start to see just some general thunderstorm activity. Here's what the NSSL thinks about the next couple of days. This is the 0Z run of it, so it's not going to go out to the full event. Today, we're likely going to see a lot of showers and thunderstorms across the states. And then as we get into tomorrow, we're expecting some development. Really just a rainy, messy Easter. A few supercells develop along the coast, providing potential for large to very large hail. And yeah, that's going to favor it. Here's the NSSL, or the ARW. Could see a few stronger storms across Alabama, Mississippi again today. And yeah, large hail damaging winds are all going to be possible with those. Easter Sunday just looks unsettled. If you're anywhere from Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana. And now South Carolina more so like after dark, so yeah. So this model wants a classic little damaging wind sounding here with the inverted V profile. Now, as we get further out, there is potential for another severe event, and I'm sorry I have to open tabs up for this because, yeah, but we have potential for severe weather kind of across a large area, later next week. And once we get more deterministic models in range, maybe tomorrow we'll look at this more. Actually, for tomorrow I probably won't have anything out video-wise, but there's kind of your mean instability over the next few days based off the GEFS. And we can see that we get a large area of instability to get up into the plains on Sunday, and we could see a pretty good severe weather event there. We'll just stop it at 0Z. We can see that we have 500 millibar jet streak getting into the area as well. It's not the best jet streak ever, mean-wise, for this far out. We'll get the Euro in the same exact spot as well. And the GFS probably has a 60 run, right? Yeah, it does, so we'll get the 60. A little bit stronger on 60. Yeah. You can see the Euro is really going out with this one. Big area of severe weather is likely if the Euro solution would happen. And yeah, there you go. Nice little jet streak. And the Canadian even agrees too. So I think we probably will see a 15% severe risk added with the next update tomorrow. This would be like day 6 or 7 tomorrow. I think it's day 7 right now. Because this is day 1, day 2, 4, 5. Yeah, that would be day 6 tomorrow. We'll probably see a 15% out. I don't think we have a 15% out right now. Yeah, no, it's predictability too low. They're thinking severe weather potential will increase, but it looks too isolated, and predictability is too low to introduce probabilities at this time. I mean, 850 flow looks good too, so I think we probably will see some sort of event. It's just going to be kind of where, how significant, and kind of that stuff right now. I think we're getting to the where, it's just how significant and kind of the placement of everything. We can see the 850 millibar jets are pretty similar to each other for being almost a week out. This will happen on Friday if the models are correct. Some of them have a stronger jet area out here. The Euro doesn't have that. That's just something to watch over the next few days. That's gonna do it for this one though. Thank y'all for tuning into this one. Have a great Easter weekend, and I will see you probably on Monday when I upload next.